In 1998, a group of the smartest people on the planet got together. Nobel Prize winners, MIT professors, the brightest minds in economics and mathematics. They created a hedge fund called Long-Term Capital Management. Within 2 years, they lost nearly $5 billion. The fund collapsed. The global financial system almost went down with them. How does that happen? How do the smartest people in the room make the dumbest decision in the room? This is not a story about stupidity. This is a story about how intelligence, when not understood, can actually work against you. And today, we are going to uncover the psychology behind why smart people make terrible decisions. Let us start with the first reason. Smart people are used to being right. They have spent their entire lives being the smartest person in the classroom, in the meeting, in the room. That track record of being right creates a dangerous illusion, the illusion that they will always be right. Psychologists have studied this for decades. One famous study asked MIT students, some of the brightest minds in the world, to estimate how long it would take them to complete their thesis projects. Their average estimate was about 1 year. The actual average time was 3 years. Do not just overestimate their abilities, they underestimate complexity. They assume that because they understand the theory, they can control reality. That gap between theory and reality is where dumb decisions are born. The second reason, smart people are masters at finding evidence to support what they already believe. They can build elaborate arguments, construct complex models, and convince anyone of anything, including themselves. But being good at building arguments does not mean your starting point is correct. Look at the story of Enron. Some of the most brilliant business minds of the 1990s built what looked like an empire. They created complex financial structures that nobody else could understand. Because nobody could understand them, they convinced themselves that they were geniuses. They were not asking the hard questions. They were not looking for evidence that they were wrong. They were only looking for evidence that they were right when the truth finally came out. Thousands of people lost their jobs, millions lost their savings, and the smartest people in the room went to prison. Confirmation bias does not make you stupid, it makes you selectively blind. Smart people often tie their identity to being right when someone challenges their idea. It does not feel like a debate, it feels like a personal attack. When your ego is on the line, you stop thinking clearly, you stop listening, you stop learning, you start defending. There is a concept in psychology called intellectual humility. It is the ability to say I might be wrong. Research shows that people with high IQs often score lower on intellectual humility. Why? Because they have been praised their whole lives for being smart. They have been rewarded for having the right answer, admitting they are wrong. Feels like losing their identity. That is dangerous because the moment you stop being able to admit you are wrong, you stop being able to learn, and the moment you stop learning, you start making mistakes that everyone else can see coming. So what is the solution? How do smart people avoid dumb decisions? It is not about becoming less intelligent. It is about building systems that protect you from your own brain. Here are 3 practical steps. First, create a pre-mortem before making a big decision. Ask yourself, it is 1 year from now, and this decision failed completely. What went wrong? This forces your brain to look for weaknesses instead of just strengths. Second, find a devil's advocate you actually respect, not someone who agrees with you, someone who will challenge you. Listen to them, really listen, do not just wait for your turn to speak. Third, separate your identity from your ideas. You are not your opinions, you are not your decisions. When someone criticizes your idea, they are not attacking you, they are helping you improve your idea. Here is the truth that smart people often miss. Intelligence is not the ability to never be wrong. Intelligence is the ability to recognize when you are wrong and change course before it is too late. The people who made the dumbest decisions in history were not stupid. They were brilliant, but they were brilliant in a way that made them blind to their own limits. So the next time you are about to make a big decision, remember the story of long-term capital management. Remember Enron. Remember that being smart is not a shield against mistakes. The real superpower is not being right. The real superpower is being willing to be wrong. Have you ever made a decision that you knew was bad, but did it anyway? Drop your story in the comments. I read every single one, and if this video gave you something to think about, share it with someone who needs to hear it.